So we're climbing up into the mountains now, and you can definitely tell that we're doing so because number one, the leaves are definitely turning more autumnal up here, making the roads a bit slippery. We had a lot of rain last night, hence roads very slippy, and the temperature is dropping. Nasty hairpins up here. Spectacular views though. Now that's a shot, isn't it? Well, it doesn't get much better than this for a thumbnail spot, does it? Look at this beautiful waterfall, and managed just to position the bike in front of it, so time for a snap, I think. Well, we're getting some proper elevation now. We're starting to get into where the cloud is in the trees. Hopefully we're not going to get actually into that because it's going to get even colder. But how spectacular is this? Incredible. Fairly serious hairpinage as we come down the mountain, but some spectacular views. Starting to just get a little bit of rain in the air. Hope you can see okay. Yeah, well worth coming up there this morning. Absolutely stunning ride. I'm very glad for the Triumph Tiger's heated seat and grips. It's down to 7 degrees now, which I think is the coolest it's been all trip. Okay, we're down from the mountain pass now, through all those lovely autumn leaves, back into the valley floor. And a bit of a faster road and a bit of a rest from the hairpins, which is most welcome with my dodgy shoulders. Bit of bridge action. Love a bridge, me. This one looks quite good. One of my favourite type, these sort of still type box things. Only because we don't really get these at home. We get the odd suspension bridge and so on, but we don't get these for some reason. These always remind me of Canada and the US. But we've been over quite a lot of these here in Japan as well. Obviously a favoured architecture. Well, the sun's come out, it's warming up, we've got a bit lower down, and some absolutely spectacular views we've had when I haven't had the camera on. Hopefully we might get a glimpse of one in a moment. Down this valley is just stupendous. What an amazing place. As ever, the GoPro will flatten it all out, but the sides here are quite steep and really densely packed with trees. Just a beautiful part of the world. Harleys are out. Just stopped at another of these convenience stores for a quick coffee and a toilet break, and I'm fascinated by some of the bikes that you see here. Check this out, look, it's a little tiny Honda. It says V-Twin Magna. It's actually a V-Twin. You probably don't get the impression of the size of it on the camera because there's no one near it, but it's absolutely tiny. The fact that it says V-Twin and it's a single cylinder. It's hilarious. A bit of a cruiser vibe going on. Loving it. Alright, so we made it to our next hotel, which is once again a traditional Japanese style hotel. Carol is at hand to do the walk round of the room. You might have to shout though, because there's no mic. Or get nearer. Okay.
Welcome to our humble abode. Very kindly, we already have our beds made up.
Yeah, normally you have to make them yourself, so that's a plus.
Yeah, it varies between different guest houses. We've got some cupboard space for our jackets.
We've actually got our own sink, which is a big plus, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, this floor's lovely and warm.
Oh yeah. Oh, heated floor.
This is probably above the bath downstairs.
Oh yeah, it could be. That is nice. Yeah.
Yeah. There's downstairs bath. There's outside bath. There were private outside baths. Andy and I, we could have gone in, booked a time slot, but they've shut them because of bear activity.
Yeah, exactly. But if you want bear activity, you can go to the ponds that side, because they're mixed public baths out there, which I'm definitely not going to be going in. All right, so room looks quite comfy, doesn't it, Kate? What's in there? What have we got in there?
Ooh.
Oh, some... not sure about those. Anyway, I think we'll try and get a brew on then. Excellent.
Yes.
Right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Okay, maybe I was a little bit hasty with my "we'll see you tomorrow," because that was before I visited the loo to see the king of all carses. Check this out though. Here we are. This is the men's public toilets. You don't have a toilet in your room. You come here for the middle of the night if you need to use the facilities. But look at this. You come here, you open this. Look at that. That is like an alien Trifid type toilet. Incredible. Absolutely amazing throne. Here's the control panel. We've got two types of flushing. We've got closing and opening of lid. Oh, that's seat down in case you can't do it yourself. Seat down for the whole thing, isn't it amazing? Various washing modes and all sorts of stuff here, which I have absolutely no idea how it operates, but I shall enjoy giving that a little try later. But I'll save you the trouble of washing it this time, but I just had to share that with you. That is the best carsie I've seen since I've been here. Well, good morning folks. It's dawned an absolutely beautiful day here in the mountains, and quite an early start off today. We've got a relatively long down the bike, but it should be great in this absolutely cracking weather. This is the external view of the hotel we stayed at last night. But just before we go, there are some hot springs here, some outdoor pools and so on. And before we go, Wes just wants to take some pictures of the bikes down here by the bridge. So he's manfully moving the bikes into position. And we're going to try and get some cool pictures down there. And the river itself, because it's a hot spring area, has of course steam rising off it, so you may not see it with a GoPro, but let's see if I can point you down the river. Pretty nice, eh? So that's why there's a spa here. And here comes Wes on my bike. He's pretty handy off-road, is our Wes. Look at that, that's going to be a cracking picture. And in fact, there's a mountain at the back there you definitely won't see with the GoPro. There's actually snow capped still. Right, let's see if we can get some snaps. I think that's a wrap for those shots. Fantastic spot. Right, so we're off on what I think is our last full day of riding on this tour. So it's amazing how quickly these things go, given we've been out here almost a month. Chilly old day, 6 degrees according to the Tiger. But it looks like the sun is out for most of the day, so hopefully it's going to warm up a bit. But we are as wrapped up as you can be, and it feels pretty chilly. What a difference from the start of the tour when it was like 30 degrees actually on the first couple of days. Mind you, we are high up in the Northern Alps now, so that's why it's a bit chillier. Anyway, hopefully there's no ice on the deck. There was some frost on the cars and frost on the seats of the box this morning when we got up. But it's cleared now, but yeah, these leaves are going to be absolutely amazing today in the sunshine, so looking forward to showing you some of that. Right, settle back, let's see what today brings. Well, what a difference a bit of sunshine makes, folks. Don't know if you can see up there, there's a mountain just ahead of us, just going under the trees now. Probably didn't see it with a GoPro, but it's actually snow capped, I don't know if that's a result of the precipitation we had yesterday. It's fallen up there as snow, or whether it just stays up there as snow. But yeah, nice to see some snow-capped mountains. Gets me in the mood for skiing. Might catch a glimpse of the snow-capped mountain just up the top there, just as we're about to go through the bridge past the Can-Am. Love a bridge, me. Don't know if I've mentioned. Just thinking about those hot springs at the last hotel we stayed at, and we've passed a few more rivers and waterfalls and things as we've been riding this morning. It is, of course, as I think I mentioned before, a very volcanically active area here. The tectonic plates are on the move, so there are quite a few hot springs around, and there's lots of volcanoes in Japan. And indeed, of course, Mount Fuji, where we're heading today, is a volcano, and an active one at that. Of course, one of the downsides of that is when you go past those rivers with the hot springs and so on, they do smell a bit sulphurous, so that's a bit of an acquired taste. But the other reason for mentioning it is, I don't think I mentioned it the other day, a few days ago, we were in one of the hotels. We were laying in bed, as you do, minding our own business, and we had an earthquake, which is a bit of fun. We've been lucky enough, or unlucky enough, depending on your viewpoint, to have experienced a couple of earthquakes before in the past, both in the US and California, which was just a little rumble, and then a more significant one years ago in Greece, on the island of Kefalonia. We had a couple of fairly major earthquakes there, which were really quite alarming. But anyway, this one here is just enough to remind us what an earthquake was like. So it's a little bit scary, but nothing over untoward. You know, the ground moved and the bed shaked a bit, and it's nothing to do with what we were doing, other than, as I say, minding our own business. So that was quite fun. Mentioned it to Wes, he didn't even notice it, he slept all through it, and he said that they pretty much have earthquakes every week, so no big deal. So yeah, I mean, given the number of volcanoes in Japan, it's kind of obvious that there's going to be a lot of earthquakes around. They are a very frequent occurrence. I'm glad to say, so far on this trip, one we had, nothing to worry about. It was just an interesting experience. We're just doing a little up and over route at the moment to avoid some of those shorter tunnels, because apparently there's a lot of tour buses around here, understandably, given the scenery. I mean, just look at this riding we're doing around here. I'm just riding through here like it's normal, but it's absolutely stunning. But in the shorter tunnels, the tour buses apparently can't pass each other, so they'll wait at the tunnel entrance for the bus to get through, so you can end up waiting for quite a while on a motorcycle apparently. So Wes knows this little shortcut cut up and over to cut out a few tunnels and avoid some of those tour buses. So that's good for me, because I mean, just look at this stunning scenery up here. More snow-capped mountains ahead. This rain has done us some real favours that we had last night, because it's cleared the atmosphere out a treat, and it's made the visibility and the light just beautiful today. Look at that, stunning. Well folks, it's 10 o'clock on a Monday morning when we're recording this. This isn't a bad office, is it? No complaints from me. So we've reached the bottom of the valley. Another beautiful bridge. River's really dried up down there. I guess it flows at its max rate at the end of winter, springtime, when the snow's melting and they get some meltwater down there. Didn't have the camera running as we came down, but we came past some pools of hot spring waters. Looked really sulphurous and like a primordial soup. Lots more evidence of volcanic and geothermic activity around here. Alright, the river's grown in size somewhat now. Properly full there. Although it still sits quite low when you look at the markings on the side of the banks. Getting back in amongst civilization now. And this could explain why we saw such a head of water just crossing a dam here. Pretty impressive structure. Just spotted another dam on our left. Don't know if you can see it through there. Possibly not. They always look impressive though when they're holding the water back. It somehow seems physically impossible that something so thin can hold that amount of water back. We've got a view there. Just a little glimpse. Lovely road this, but it's a little bit busy with traffic. which is surprising given it's a Monday morning, but lovely smooth road surface. So we just had a coffee stop, and I didn't bother videoing it, but I kind of wish I had, because a couple of bikers turned up while we were there on those Honda CB1300s, and there was a particularly fetching looking one in red with gold wheels. I love gold wheels, me. And got talking via Wes to the owner. Turns out it's this year's model. Took a couple of snaps that I'll put in here. Absolutely beautiful bike. It's such a shame that we cannot get those in the UK anymore. The dials on it were nice, no TFTs, proper old school dials. It was the Boldor edition as well. Really nice looking thing. Owen suspension, Brembo brakes. If only we could get those in the UK. Maybe wonder if how much it would cost to get one imported, but I imagine it would be a nightmare of paperwork. Anyway, a lovely bike. Such a shame Euro 5 has put pay to those for us in the UK and Europe indeed. Well, this is a stupendously nice piece of road, nice and smooth tarmac, some nice sweepy bends down by the river. A nice little antidote to all the mountainous stuff that we're doing with the slippy leaves. In fact, that CB1300X, I think it was, that I was talking about is now behind us. He's a little way back, so I've got the 360 camera on. I hope I might be able to capture him in action, but I think he might be a bit too far away. But anyway, nice bike. Right, we're just onto a section of expressway now. I've just turned the camera on because this is a completely different view to anything we've had so far. That range of mountains ahead, which as ever will be flattened by the GoPro, but it looks spectacular from where I'm sat, and it looks very similar to something that you might see in the US, Colorado or Arizona, those sort of rocky mountains as opposed to covered in trees, which is what we've been seeing so far in Japan. A nice change. Right, we're off the expressway section now. We're heading towards this mountain range that I was talking about when we're on it, and Mrs. Flower has observed that actually there are trees on there. It's just that they've turned because it's autumn, and she's quite right looking at it now. Again, you may not be able to see the detail on the GoPro, but there's a lot of brown trees on the lower half, and then maybe the tree line stops as you get to the rocky bit. But yeah, I think it's just an autumnal covered mountain range after all. So we're a few miles on as we head towards our Mount Fuji hotel stop tonight, but out there on the horizon, you may or may not be able to see it with the GoPro, is Mount Fuji itself. Classic volcano, so, you know, proper cone, completely symmetrical, covered in snow on the top. If you asked a child to draw a volcano, that would be what you'd draw. Anyway, we'll get some great views of that later. Amazing mountain ranges here, completely different scenery again to what we've seen so far, and some lovely roads as well. Some really nice riding to finish off our trip on. Not that we're done yet. We've got some more nice riding to do tomorrow as well. Hopefully you can see on the GoPro that Mount Fuji is ebbing closer, even though it's a good half an hour or so since I last turned the camera on. We've still got around about 2 hours until we get to our hotel, which is near Mount Fuji, so it just shows you how big that thing is. Although it looks massive from here, it never seems to get any nearer. It is an impressive sight though. Wind on another hour and the mountain gets ever closer, looking ever more impressive. We're hoping to get there for sunset. The hotel we've got apparently has got a great view of Mount Fuji, so hopefully we're going to get some great snaps tonight if we can get there at sunset, which is around about 5 o'clock at the moment, and at this moment in time it's 10 to 4, so hopefully I haven't got too much further to go. Certainly a majestic mountain. Around about 12,300 feet tall, which is, so call it 12,500. Tallest peak in Japan. And to put it in context, Mont Blanc, the tallest peak in Europe, is about 14,000, so it's a big one. Well, what a great ride this has turned out to be. Lovely road, amazing views of lakes and volcanoes, sun's out, trees are all looking autumnal. What more can you want? Wow. Well, how about this for a photo stop? Bikes in front of Mount Fuji at sunset there.
So is this lined up correctly?
Looks good to me, Wes. Yep. Fabulous. Right, enough hanging around. Let's take some pictures.
Hey kids, we're the missing the flyers.